Well, welcome to 180 U-Turn, the talk show that features some of the greatest conversion stories of our time. Stories of men and women who are on the highway to hell when they encountered a Damascus Road experience that completely turned their lives around. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Savant, and today we're broadcasting live from Alongside Ministries in Phoenix, Arizona, one of the premier transitional facilities for former felons for drug and alcohol abuse. And for more information on their prison outreach, their weekly meetings, their special events, just hop out to their website at asmaz.com. That's asmaz.com. And if you want to write the show, please feel free to write me. I love it, and I love all the exhortations and verses that you send me. Just write me at steve@180uturn.com. That's steve@180youturn.com, and I'll be happy to return your email. I really enjoy some of the verses you have for my guests. They're awesome. I mean, just some of the stuff you guys send me is just great. Well, I want to introduce our guest. This is day 3 with Darren Cooney. And Darren, we're talking about your story. Mm-hmm. And yesterday's story wasn't that great. I mean, you've busted every single relationship with your folks and family and everything else. And now, I'm so sorry to say, we got to talk about something that's pretty dastardly, I have to say. When you divorced, but then you remarried, right?
Yes. I divorced in 96, and I met the woman that changed my life in 2000. We talked a little bit about me owning a restaurant in the previous thing, but I got out of the restaurant business and I went into something I thought my mouthpiece could be good at, which was car business. And I got sober for a little bit of time. I put some years together. And in 2000, I got a phone call from a young lady who said she needed a car. And I invited her down. I said, if nothing else, maybe I could take you to dinner. She laughed about it and he'd hawed and showed up. And beautiful woman showed up. And within 45 minutes, I'm trying to sell her a car that she didn't want. And she was saying no, but all I really wanted to do was go on this date. And I didn't sell her the car that night. We did go on the date. I sold her a car later, and we were living together within 3 months and married within the year. And I left the part out that as I went on each date with her, I met another child. And she ended up having 5 sons.
Wow. And
I married her with 5 children. And of these 5 kids...
Well, wait a minute, let me stop you. What was your mindset on that?
Man.
You're going to marry a gal that's already got 5 boys. It's going to be in testosterone zone over there, right?
13 to 2, there was the age group.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I should have saw the baby seats on the night I test over, trade-in, but I didn't. Anyway.
But you married her.
I married her. It was wonderful. I became dad at the I Do, and they all looked up to me, and I was making a great living. I was sober. My wife, who I met at the time, was not. She was on diet pills and wine. And
And did you know that going in?
I did. Okay. She's really pretty.
Oh. Yeah, we're suckers for beauty, I have to say.
And
but let's just let me go back to this part. Because you were straight for a couple of years here.
I did.
Right?
I got some time sober. Probably met her sober 2 years in.
Great income,
making good money.
Good money, and now you have your instant. You have 5 extra instant deductions. So
definitely 3 of them, because the 2 youngest lived with her ex-husband, and the 3 oldest, their father was no longer in their lives. So I had 3 full time, and 2 here and there. But yes, the income was good. She didn't have to work, and I started taking care of all of them. And in about 2 years into it, I don't know what drove it, but she says, I'm going to drink. And I got her sober. And she put about 2 years together. And she's like, I want to drink. Either you can drink with me or leave me. Your choice. Did I mention she was pretty?
Yeah.
I chose to drink with her. And within a week, maybe 2, I was getting high with meth. Which is a graduation from crack.
Okay, so we're moving up the food chain here.
Indeed, sir. I had a high-paying job. I needed to stay functional. Crack would not do that for me. Crack got to the point where I used it, I would complete shutdown. So meth, I can hold a conversation. I can be functional. I can still, pull my 6-figure salary and work a little bit harder and stay longer. And we had a really good time for about a year and a half or 2 years as a husband and wife, because I got her hooked on it. And what I started doing, we started doing everything together. And then everything was apart. The lies got more. I started staying out later. The power thing was going with me. I'm making, 100 plus grand a year, and I have meth going into a room. There, I was kind of welcomed by the women, and I liked that feeling, and so I started staying out later, and I just kept her captive by leaving drugs at home. She wanted a stack of cash to get something, I would do that. I just kept her fed mostly in money and drugs. And meanwhile, I lived the nightlife. I lied, cheated, manipulated, stole.
From her, from everybody still.
It didn't matter.
And she's really not any better at this time, right? She's having her own transgressions.
Indeed.
Yeah, so it's not like it's all you, but I'm always fascinated by people who say, "Hey, my wife, she's a trophy gal. She looks great, and I'm still going to go out there and cheat on her," right? And I just want to give you an encouragement. People that don't know the Lord, it's hard to stay straight.
Indeed.
It's hard to stay straight. I'm not going to say it isn't, but I've been married 46 years to the same gal, and I've never cheated on that girl, ever. So I just want to put that out there too. There are guys that have made it. I've known the Lord for 50 years. I got saved on Valentine's Day. So it matters. It matters, who you were brought up in the Lord on and who you're walking with. Now, you lost your job too. Now there's no money.
There's no money. As my wife caught on to my extracurricular activities, now we're more enemies than we were friends. And, I'm trying to outdo, my last move, or it's just sick. And she had enough, and she's like, I need to get my kids right. I need to get right. You need to get out. I've had enough.
So she said out.
So out. Yeah. So about 2006, I was divorced completely by 2007, but 2006 I was out of the house and out of a job, and that power position that I was in is now more of a punk position, with the lack of a better term. Now I'm going from somebody's couch to asking what can I do so I can get high. Rather than what can someone do for me so I can get them high. It's a big switch of power. And now next thing you know, I'm doing whatever they ask me to do. I'm going on home invasions. I'm hitting licks. I'm robbing people at a casino. I'm
using weapons with this.
Another story, but yes.
Yes. Okay, so we have no job now. We are full-blown criminality.
Just plotting my next move so I can get high.
Okay, now, I'm just bringing this up. Did your Catholic conscience ever wake you up out of this?
That Jesus conscience that I have, and thank God it was instilled in me. Because if I didn't have that conscience, I want to know who to reach out to later that we're coming to. Because of that little bit of introduction and that knowing that there was something out there, I had a belief system. But
right now, your heart is seared.
Seared, solid, shut.
Conscience dead.
There's one person in mind, that's myself.
Wow. Well, then you went on a home invasion that went bad. Really bad. I'm never known for being a fighter and a violent guy, so this is really out of my element, the things that I've been doing. And my buddy says to me, I need you to go on this with me, and I'm living on his couch. I need you to go on this with me, and he's packing a shotgun. I'm like, well, what's the level of violence on this deal? He says, 0, no violence whatsoever. The dudes know we're coming. Why the shotgun? Oh, I'm going to sell it. Sure, I'm in. Me, another guy, we went, and we show up to this apartment, and the person that we're looking for is not home, but this young lady's home, and she already knows what time it is. She already knows that this guy owes some money, and we go inside to make a deal for her to pay this guy's debt. While we're there, it was very friendly. We start getting high. I break the pipe out. We're passing pipe. We're smoking. Everything's great. And next thing you know, the two guys that I'm with start taking more from her than we agreed upon for the money. They're taking the iPod and a camera, and I start seeing the thieving going on. And I didn't want this to be happening where we're at right now because it was a really nice environment. I didn't want to be stealing from these people. Anyway, as we left the apartment, she yelled, so these guys just robbed me. And a guy out of nowhere, I'm still not sure how he got down the flight of stairs, but he came at us with a baseball bat. And while he's waving the baseball bat,
he swung at one guy, and so I went at the guy, and he just shrugged me off and turned the bat onto me. And while he's hitting me with the bat, it was a Louisville Slugger, and the only reason I know that is he hit me so hard on my back that you can see the word Slugger imprinted on the back of me when they were taking photos of me. And I'm getting hit with the bat. I got hit 4 times out of about 6 tries. And why I never fell, I'm just trying to get enough distance between me and the bat. And I looked up and I see my partner pulling that shotgun out. And before I could say no or stop or anything, the gun went off. And the person with the bat was laying in the street. And I didn't know what to do. And we had a car there, and I jumped in the back, he jumped in the front, and we just took off. And that was in 2008, and right before Christmas. And I was on the run for 8 days. I got beat with a baseball bat. I jumped out of moving cars at high-speed chases with U.S. Marshals. Every house I went to go hide at has already, you see the door jamb been kicked off by marshals looking for me. It was really bad. It was a bad scene, and I didn't know the guy passed away until the following day. And then I was a person of interest, and then the next day I was wanted for first-degree murder. And I take that back. I was a person of interest for the crime. The first-degree murder didn't come up until after they arrested me. And I was arrested 8 days out, and like probably other people you might have interviewed, I was actually relieved the day they caught me because I was so tired from the run and the lifestyle. And it was already a horrible lifestyle, but 8 days as a fugitive, no one wants you in their house. You can't call your family. You're all over the news. I've been on 3 people's house, seen myself, on the news, and I bought a wig. I've got this dreadlock blonde wig with a baseball cap, and I'm walking around the same city that this murder happened, walking in between cops and nonsense just to go get high. And when the marshals finally caught up to me, they beat the brakes off me, and they smashed my eye, broke my hand, but the cast was up to here, and they smashed me pretty good, and they told me so. Well, we spent a lot of time looking for you. This is kind of how we repay you. Right there in the paperwork. They say they beat the brakes off me.
So you're going to prison. What was your time? What was your plea deal?
So when I get arrested, they interview me, and after my little interview with the police and this, my graduation card, my entry card said first-degree murder, burglary in the first degree, possession, and conspiracy to commit armed robbery, and a few others. Pretty big card. So I went into prison. I went into county jail, and with charges like that, you're going to be in county jail for quite some time with those type of charges. And my plea. So I'm in a lockdown cell, and on 4th Avenue, the top floor is the 4th floor, which is the most serious.
Supermax.
It's high-profile crimes and horrible crimes. So I'm up in the 4th Avenue, and I'm scared and now sober, just because I have none, not because I'm trying to get sober. Just you're in a cell by yourself with a double door. That the only time you come out of your cell if you're cuffed up. So they call me, and I'm 30, probably almost 90 days in. I get my first legal visit, and he says, it's a weird time of day. You'll cuff up. You have a legal visit, and my lawyer tells me he's got great news. And in the car business, if I told you I had great news, I was either bringing you in there to lie to you, because I tell you great news on the phone, and I'd either raise your payment, raise your interest rate, ask for more down payment, or I'm taking the car. It was never great news, but that's how I hooked you. Well, fast forward, lawyer tells me he's got great news. I get upstairs, what's this great news? He's like, I got your plea for you. And he slides it over, it's 25 to life, no capital punishment. How do you know what capital punishment meant? He says, no death penalty. And I banged on the door, the cop cuffed me back up. I went back to my cell, and with a broken hand, they haven't given me Benadryls, and Tylenol 3 is about as hard as it gets in there. And I do meth and crack and weed, but I don't do pills because I have standards, so I've never been to pills. So I'm saving the pills, wait till I get downstairs so I could trade it from commissary for honey buns and ding dongs and the good stuff downstairs. Well, after I heard 25 to life, I took all the pills out and I had hundreds. And I got down on my knees. I got down on my knees and I told God that I wanted to die. I just wanted his permission to leave and that I was sorry. And loud and audibly in that cell, he said, Darren, you've been dead for years. I want to give you new life. Throw those pills away.
You're gonna off yourself.
Yeah, I'm done. Right. The end of the road.
And he spoke to you.
Loud and clear, not once, but twice.
Supermax.
I even looked to see there's no cop will ever come in your cell without you being cuffed up.
Yeah.
In that cell. And I said, what? He says, throw the pills away. I want to give you new life.
Wow.
Follow me. I threw the pills away. That was March 19th, 2009. And I gave my life to Christ that day. Not without reservation, not without doubt, not without struggle, not without questioning why. Fast forward, I get to my sentencing, and the judge tells me, you sign this plea, you'll be out before you're 50. I'll give you 7 years. Sign this plea. My brother shows up, sign the plea, 7 to 10 and a half, 7 to 10 and a half. 7 to 10 and a half, you'll get 7. I sign the plea, she gives me 10 and a half. And I'm mad at God. And I don't know why, but the answer comes to me later. But I'm questioning. My faith doesn't get wavered, but I'm still like, what am I doing? Because at this point, it's 2 years later. I'm still fighting my case before I got sentenced. It was 22 months. And in that horrible, horrible county jail. And I was down on the 3rd floor for most of my time, so I did move down. But yeah, that was my call to come to Jesus, what my wife calls my burning bush moment.
Well, the heck of a story, and we're going to continue tomorrow and talk more about the Lord in prison.
My favorite.
That's a favorite part of my story.
Yeah.
And I just want to encourage you, listen, it doesn't have to go this far. It doesn't have to go this deep. It doesn't have to go this desperate. There's ways to get out now. We talked about the road of destruction. If you're on it, you see an exit ramp off, and especially if God told you to get off, this is the time to get off. Well, listen, just remember, I want to tell you about the information for Alongside Ministry. You want to hop out to their website at asmaz.com. Check out all they're doing inside prison and their mentoring program through prison and out of prison. You can hop out to their website and check out all their weekly meetings that they have, male and female meetings that they have for the guys and the gals, and special events. And if you want to be participating in this as a volunteer, it could be a place for you to go to. So until next time, I'm Steve Savant, and remember, especially after this testimony, no one's outside the reach of God, especially Darren here.
Yep.
No, not one.